You're in this video too much. So the last you would have seen us, we were having lots of fun at Winton with our fuel system that Gavin built. Good job. So in this episode, Gavin has to go back and by himself fix it whilst we all enjoy life. So this video is pretty heavily of Gavin making a pretty schmick fuel system, I would say.
I'm not sure I'm a massive fan of this intro so far. All right, intro's done. Enjoy the video.
No, it's laser cannons.
What are we doing? What are we doing here?
We're discussing.
No, as in with the car.
So, come over here, kid. We're missing a fuel tank.
Why do we need to change what's already in there?
Because Gavin's fuel system didn't work.
So, in my defense, it kind of worked.
Yeah, it kind of worked.
Yeah, all the fuel leaked out, and then it didn't get to the pump when we were going around corners.
So if you want to say fuel tanks maybe have two functions and neither of them worked, you're going to say that it worked?
I would argue that a slow leak is still facilitating, like stationary, it was holding fuel. It just leaked when we were filling it or driving. It didn't all just fall out. We still got to do a bit of driving. Oh yeah, around corners, the fuel pump didn't pump because no fuel got to it because the foam in the tank isn't good enough.
I think it was more that the foam in the tank was getting into the filter, wasn't it?
No, but we still had fuel starve when we cleaned the filter.
No, he didn't.
Cam came back in and said it was chugging at the end of his...
Oh, yeah, but Cam whines about everything. He's like the George Russell about it.
And kettles everywhere.
What do I whine about the car ever? That's not whining about the car. That's looking after the car.
The brake master cylinder's leaking. Oh, is this brake proportioning valve leaking? Guys, I don't think it's leaking.
Guys, the thermostat is leaking.
That's different to what? I don't think that's whining. I think that's being a good race engineer. Like my man, Adrian. Adrian!
Right, so if you've been playing along at home, you would have seen that we've had some fueling issues on 3 of our 4 races. And so for our 5th and hopefully 6th race, and races into the future, we're hoping to not have any issues. So to that end, we have got all these fancy aeroflow bits, which should sort us out. Got, big tank, nice lot of anodized fittings, and they were kind enough to jump on board and also give us this modestly sized banner for our troubles. So one of probably the only downside to having a wagon is when you put the fuel tank in the back where I'm sitting here, it's just in the passenger driver compartment. And when you're racing, all the fuel needs to have a firewall and be isolated from the driver's compartment so there's no spills, no fires, just for general safety.
I think it's probably obvious why.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Fair enough. There's got to be a firewall between the thing that catches on fire and the driver. So what I'm thinking, and I'm trying to get it across the line, is running the breather out through the bottom here somewhere or through here into the D pillar. And then if you come to the outside of the car, there's this handy dandy vent. And so that is hollow up there. So if we cut out around here, we should have enough room to run the breather up and then back in. And we can cover that with the trim piece, so it'll look real slick. And it'll run up and back down and out outside of the passenger compartment of the car. And it should look pretty neat and tidy because our other solution is we have to run it up to the roof somewhere on the inside and then just have a big ugly pipe around it, sealed at the top, and sealed to the car on the bottom. And I think we all agree that'll look pretty bad. And so why not try and do it better? So check back in when that's failed and we're doing something else. Alrighty, welcome back to Gavin's Maths and Engineering Corner, featuring your boy Gavin. I want to run our fuel tank with some beams across the top, some beams across the bottom, and then clamp it together with M8 all thread. And so I did some maths to prove to myself that that would be adequate. So the strength that it can intensely take DO 160 standard, which is an aerospace standard. It felt as good as the arbitrary number as any to pick, so I've done that. Alright, so here's the tank. I've made these straps on the bottom. These little 20mm square bits of tube come over just to bolt into the tabs on the tank. This isn't actually holding any weight, just locating these. And so when we take the tank out, it will keep these pieces on the tank located, and that means it'll go back in a lot easier. This piece at the back here, just to space it all up a little bit. The bars on the top of the tank will run from here across to here. And then all thread will drop down and pick up those pieces that I just put on the tank. So we're ready to test fit the tank in the car. Once this is in, we'll be able to check our breather fits and finish the routing from our filler, which will be in here somewhere, and our breather, which comes in there, goes inside this panel here, comes up to here and back down and exits at the bottom of the car. All right, sit rep. Fuel tank's in. As in as it's going to be for a while. So it all looks pretty good. We've got plenty of clearance under there. It feels pretty solid. I haven't torqued these up or anything. It's all going to have to come apart, get welded and painted, but that's pretty good for a mock-up. Pretty self-explanatory, I assume.
We never got an after shot to match the before shot of Gav's fuel filler, so here's this zoomed in footage of us eating cookies that Georgia made us.
Gonna weld this flange to the back of here, and then on the firewall that will cover this eventually, I'll weld another flange to that, and we'll just have a duct. It should be flexible, it should be air and fuel tight, and then that fits on there. And then that fits on here, and it's going to look real slick. It's going to be our pretend dry brake, and we'll feel like professionals. So that's on now in position. This is all done up, so there's no gaps between there. That one's a bit loose. We've got the seam sealer squeezing out along the edges, which is good. So there's a layer in there, there's a layer around here, so that's all sealing it within the ducting that's going to go on the back of here as the firewall. And most importantly, the cap comes on and off easily. So we'll be able to do a fuel stop in under 6 minutes or whatever the the minimum time we're allowed to do it in is how I can. The following videos are going to be short videos of me measuring up this thing. This is just to help you edit. Please don't include this. I don't know. Play some funky music over this and you know, something we don't have to pay for, and it'll look real schmick. Kind of see the gist of this now. I'm going to have to take some corners off here so we can clear the wheel arches, and I can push it this way a little bit, and then we'll make up the flange that goes down around the whole thing. We'll tack that all in place, and I'll be able to mark and cut the hole in the middle for the top of the fuel filler and weld the flange for the duct, and then our fuel system will be, well, our fuel filler will be done, and kit approves. All right, so I've finished cutting out all the pieces of steel we're going to need for our new firewall/fuel tank cover. I just cut them all out with an angle grinder. I really wish we had a guillotine. That way I could overthrow the monarch and distribute the wealth back to the people. I've mocked up and tacked up the fuel cover. It looks not fantastic from that side. It looks a bit better from that side, but once it's cleaned up, it'll be really nice. So just gonna test fit it on here. So that looks just about how I wanted it. So what I'm going to do next is beat this edge round and flat over the top to help make a seal, and then I'm going to seam weld it on the inside. We're going to make some tabs on here so we can bolt it down, and then we're going to seam seal it in. So this will be removable by taking the bolts out and cutting all the seam sealer, but the plan is we don't take it out very often or at all. That's our sincere hope. So yeah, looking pretty good, pretty happy with that. Yeah, now watch me beat the edges around. So, turns out I'm a big idiot. This one here that I cut first was directly over the hole in the fuel tank, but I should have actually put it where the nozzle that's on an angle came out, which is over here, which means I have to fill this gap because fire can get through that hole. And so what I've done is done probably my best grinding job ever, and cut that out in one piece. So that just will slot in there, and I'll just tack that in and, well, fully weld it in and then grind it down, and then hopefully the other guys won't know until they watch the video and see me admitting my faults.
Gav, what have you been up to, buddy?
I have permanently installed our filler.
Oh, sorry.
And built this snazzy cover and got our fancy ducting, and it's just going to go over there.
Sorry, can you start that again? I'm too excited. Say it again.
So yeah, we got our fancy ducting, and it's just going to go over there, over this flange. This cover's looking pretty good there.
Wow.
It's going to need a fair bit of seam sealer, but you know, that'll be all good.
I got our nice window. I made a horrific cut on it. So now Gavin has a window next to his fuel hole. So we can fill and see what's happening at the same time.
Is the window mostly for vision when we're filling?
I can imagine windows are mostly for vision, yes.
Touche. Do I look balding?
All right, thanks. If all you had to do was not laugh and that was going in the video. You idiot.
Thanks for watching this episode of SubPar Endurance Racing. As well as being heaps of fun, Motor Events raises money for Rare Cancers Australia. We have links in our description if you would like to donate.
Please also donate your likes and subscribes if you enjoyed this video. We do a heap of stuff with Sunny, our Corona race car, so there'll be heaps more videos of that type of content coming out, and also a bunch of different stuff that we've been working on in the background. So we'll see you next time.
Do we have other stuff going on in the background?
No, nothing in the background.
They don't know that.